latest episode of So That Reminds Me, Reminder Publishing's bi-weekly podcast on Western Mass News. I'm Tyler Garnett.
And I'm Chris Mazza.
And we will be your host for today's episode. How's everything going, Chris? It's been a while since both of us have been on the same podcast.
No kidding. It has been a while. There's been a lot of changes, obviously, here at The Reminder. I am now the interim executive director, so that's exciting in and of itself. And then I was away on vacation at Walt Disney World for a week. So, it's been a whirlwind few weeks, but it's great that we're getting back to this. How about you? How has everything been?
Things have been going good. First of all, congratulations on the new role. I know I've said it plenty of times. Just wanted to make sure to say it on the podcast as well.
Well, thank you.
But things are going well. Can't say I've had any vacations, but everything's been pretty status quo. It's been warmer weather, which is nice for sure. I'm sure Florida was a lot warmer down there. So,
well, it was a lot warmer, but it was kind of cool. It was, most of the time it was during the day in the 70s, which, of course, while you guys were dealing with the freezing temperatures and all that was going on with that, for me to be saying, oh, well, yeah, I got kind of chilly at night. It was in the 40s a couple of nights. It sounds kind of silly, but for Florida, it was kind of cool.
Yeah, no, that sounds nice. I was jealous. So many people from our department and stuff I know went down to Florida all around the same time or had vacation. So I'm jealous. I'm hoping to plan something sometime this year, maybe Florida itself too.
Now, of course, the next thing that we have to look forward to in this area is the St. Patrick's Day Parade in Holyoke. It's always a very big deal in Holyoke. And we have a special guest, John Beaulieu, who is the 2025 president of the Holyoke St. Patrick's Parade. And his team are responsible for putting together one of the largest St. Patrick's Day parades in the country.
Yeah, and like you said, the St. Patrick's Day Parade is very popular in Holyoke, and that weekend includes multiple events, including the road race and parade, along with many other activities are set to take place on Saturday, March 22nd and Sunday, March 23rd.
Now, John was nice enough to join us to talk about the 2025 parade weekend schedule, along with its history, some information about its turnout, and the local and regional impact.
We appreciate him for stopping by, and we will get right to the interview after a few short messages.
What's the forecast for our region for 2025? You live here, so you want to know, and we've done the research. You'll find insights into the economic, educational, social, and cultural expectations for Western Mass in this year's Outlook, the Republican and Reminder Publishing's in-depth guide to the potential shifts and emerging trends in Hampden and Hampshire counties. Look for Outlook in your local Reminder in March.
Are you hearing wedding bells? Take a deep breath. Go Local Magazine has your back. Our wedding special section is your one-stop resource to the best in local photographers, caterers, florists, venues, and so much more. Get inspired by the couples who share their special day with us. Then check out the experts who created their perfect event. It's all here and all at your fingertips in Go Local. And are you an advertiser looking to reach local couples planning a wedding? Contact Sales Manager Scott Green at 525-6695 to be part of Go Local Weddings.
All right, and we are happy to be joined by John Beaulieu, who is, of course, the president of the St. Patrick's Committee for Holyoke. Thank you for being with us.
Well, thank you, gentlemen, for the invite. It's first time, but the first time would be the best time, right?
Of course. So we first wanted to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself to our listenership and just talk a little bit about who you are and how you got involved with the parade and what your involvement has been with the committee since then.
Okay, so I'm John Beaulieu. I'm a resident of the city of Chicopee. I was past president of the Chicopee Parade Committee twice while I was actually a Holyoke Chicopee liaison officer for the Holyoke Parade Committee. I joined the Holyoke Parade Committee in 2012, at which point I knew I wanted to get involved and stay involved, so I was elected to the board of directors. Then we had COVID, so you're on the board of directors for almost a 5-year stint. So then I came off of the board, ran for second vice president, then the first vice president, and now the president. So it's about a 7-year commitment if you to give to the committee if you want to really do it right.
That's great. And, this year is the 72nd St. Patrick's Day Parade in Holyoke. So many people at this point, may know the schedule by heart. But can you give a little overview of the entire weekend and some other possible upcoming events?
Yeah, so if you want, I'll lead up because this weekend really kicks us into some high gear. So on the 28th, Friday night at the Holyoke Knights of Columbus, Council 90, we have our Battle of the Bars. We have 6 local bars. They get an hour at a time where their customers come in, tips, and it's all generated by tips. And the top tip getter will receive the trophy that's passed year to year, and they get the trophy in their establishment for year till next year happens. So Donovan's is we've had Halfway House, who has had it. Donovan's won it last year. So they're fighting to hold their crown. But there's Donovan's, there's Picks, Griffin's. JP's is the other one.
Halfway
Okay.
House, Griffin's, and
Francie's.
Yeah, Francie's. Francie's, not Brennan's, Francie's.
Francie's,
So,
yep.
yeah, they're all 6 local bars. The Halfway is from South Hadley, but we partner with South Hadley we allow their young ladies to come into the Coronation Ball contest because they don't have enough pull from there. So that's Friday night. Saturday, we've got a Dobbin. It's called Dobbin. Dobbin was the horse that was outside the Yankee Peddler. When the Peddler went away, they kind of said, "You guys can have the horse." We took the horse. We did some work to the horse. We made it a tartan blanket. So now Dobbin is stationed at the Holyoke Merry-Go-Round. So on Saturday from 1 to 3, we will be at the Holyoke Merry-Go-Round. Bring your family out. We have all our tartan material will be for sale, along with other parade merchandise. We will have log cabin with a food truck there. There will be beer and wine available for purchase. So that's Saturday afternoon, and then Saturday night we head up to the log cabin for our Marshall Mania event, where we have Unforgettable Fire, who is playing. They've been here for several years for us. They draw a great crowd. This year we're up at the cabin, so we've got a lot more room, so we're hoping for a lot more people. And then all through the week, that gets us through the first. Then, we've got our calling gathering, which is going to be held in Chicopee at the Portuguese American Club on Exchange Street. That's next Sunday from 2 to 6, I think. Then we've got the Ancient Order of Hibernians has their communion breakfast on the 16th. That's at St. Jerome's Church and then the Wyckoff for breakfast. Mass is at 8. Breakfast starts at 9. And then we break into the week of parade. So the Colleens are on tour for a lot of things. We have we have a past president's raffle. It's $100 a ticket. It's a trip to Ireland. We sell out every year, so we're going to draw that winner on Wednesday night, the 19th. We roll into Shamrock painting in front of City Hall. We have the chamber breakfast. Then on the 21st, we have President's Luncheon at Wyckoff Country Club. And the 21st, we will be introducing and hosting our JFK Award recipient, Bridget Moynihan. So we're trying to push that. Bridget should be, everything should be well attended for Bridget. She's a local celeb coming home. She is excited. We are excited to have her. And then we have a reception for her that night at the log cabin. So we have a mass for her. She'll get her plaque presented to her, and then up at the log cabin. The Aqua String Mummers Band will perform for us up there on Saturday night for a little while for Bridget. Have our dinner, and then on Sunday morning of the parade, the 23rd, we are going to honor our Ambassador Award winner, who is Fred Sullivan, attorney local here in Springfield. Fred was instrumental in the setting up of the Ambassador Award. Usually the Ambassador Award is a person that comes over from Ireland, and we have to do a lot of ambassadoring to get that person here.
Sure.
So Fred has been instrumental with that, along with his team. So this year, we said, who better to give it to than one of our own, who is very instrumental in it. So Fred is going to be celebrated that morning at a breakfast, and then everybody marches in the parade. The parade is going to be, like you say, the 72nd parade. We've got over 20 bands from all over New England that come in and help us celebrate homecoming weekend. The road race Saturday, again, I think as of Sunday's meeting, we had like 3,500 runners, I think, already signed up. So usually we get about 6,000. That's a crazy number, but it all goes off well. So that's for Saturday, and that's basically a lot of the week wrapped up. Again, the big draw will be for Bridget this year to get people that are already excited that, we got a Blue Blood star, Coyote Ugly star, every
Of course.
and a local talent that's come home.
Now, I will readily admit, I know that you guys were talking before we started that, he's Tyler here is not local, so he's new to the entire experience. I will readily admit I grew up in Western Massachusetts, and it wasn't until I started dating my wife, who's a Holyoke native, that I really came to fully appreciate what this parade is all about. And she not jokingly said, "This is like Christmas." And if
She's
you
not wrong.
if you could kind of explain a little bit about how this parade has really been part of the fabric of the history of Holyoke and for the Irish Americans in Western Massachusetts, that would be great if we could get some of that perspective.
Okay. So, like we said, it's the 72nd parade, and it's one of the largest parades in the country. So in Holyoke, the Irish are very proud of their heritage. We're very strong and strong-willed people that love our heritage, and we love to give back. We love the just the camaraderie of that weekend. And the parade, again, we did an economic impact study in 2012. What we found through the Donahue Institute at UMass, $20 million on that weekend, and that wasn't including the road race. So we are looking, and everybody thinks the parade is something, it just happens. It doesn't. We are in a predicament this year that we have a Help Us March Forward campaign, which is on our website, which is Holyoke St. Patrick's Parade.com. Again, Holyoke St. Patrick's Parade.com. You can sign up for the road race, and there's a donate button there. And we do also have our Marching Forward campaign. A mummers band could cost $8,000. A high school band's usually about $1,000. We have wing walkers. You have all these different folks that come in, and we have to pay for that. So we try to sustain, maintain. So our sponsors, I'm not going to mention any of them so I don't forget anybody.
Sure.
But we do have some very key sponsors that have helped us out years and years and years. We had 1 year without a parade, and there was a lot of sad faces around, mine included. But it's something people look forward to with their heritage of Irish, or just their heritage of being in Western Mass, because it's one of the largest homecomings that is put on. So, again, this is the first time we've asked. So if you can go to that website and look at the Marching Forward campaign, we love it. The DPW, the police, the fire, all public safety officials, the mayor of Holyoke, they've always been and will continue to be a big supporter of this because they know what is driven. Mayor Garcia is loving life. He's loving to see all these people in his town, respecting his town and respecting everybody's heritage on that day. Even though you could be of French or German or Polish or Hispanic, everybody seems to be all green in Holyoke on that day, and it all works.
Yeah.
So this is a huge, and impact study, if we were to do another one and include the road race, I think you're going to see that number really tower over the 20 million, because people come from all over. It helps the hotels, helps the bars, the restaurants, package stores, everybody gets a piece of the pie, which is very good. And if your wife's a Holyoke native, she's going to know if you miss a parade, you better be on your deathbed. Because Holyoke Hospital has an observation tower.
That's
and I
right.
did, and I did watch, I think it was 10 or 11. Dad says, "You're not going." I said, "No, I'm in the hospital." "I know I'm not going," but they wheeled me out on the observation deck. Yeah. It was a beautiful day, and I just watched the parade go by from there. So I said, "I'm not missing it."
Now, Tyler, I hope you don't mind me asking a question, but he did mention the campaign this year. This is the first time that something like this has been done. I know that there are circumstances that led up to deciding that this needed to happen, and that couldn't have been an easy decision to go this route in a way that you haven't before. But could you explain a little bit why there is this need at this point for this campaign?
We've had some bad things happen, and we were the victim, and we've got through it. We've done everything we need to do, and I just want everybody to know, if you are going to donate on that website, it's not going to go to help us look backwards. That's why it's called Marching Forward. What was behind us is now behind us, put to bed, and we learned a valuable lesson. And again, we were a victim in the whole matter, but court cases are as court cases go, and that's that. But so this is the time where, if we need our rainy day fund, which I don't think we will, we have it there, but we just want to build it up so this parade can continue for the next 72 to 100 years, because we don't want this to go away.
Sure.
And our road race, we do not want to go away, because it's a staple in Western Mass, and it's a very big community-driven event. And again, thanks to mayors, the DPW, the public safety, our first responders. Without them, we don't do anything. And people are concerned about safety. It is one of the safest places to be. We work with Homeland Security. We work with everybody. We have a command center. We have certain people that are on a radio, not on a radio. We see things, You've got the Mass State Police helicopter is up in the air looking at things, and I'll tell you, it's pretty impressive to watch how that whole command center and things work. I work the starting line, the finish line, wherever. But yeah, you can, and medical professionals, how they have to get in and get out if we have an issue, and everybody is treated with respect, dignity, and without all those folks that come together for us, this would not happen. So again, the campaign is just to help us, again, like we say, march forward to provide this production for everybody for a lot of years to come.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it definitely sounds like a staple in Holyoke. It's something I admittedly have not been to. I'm hoping to go to this.
Well, you're personally invited.
Yes, thank you. I hope to be there for sure. And I know you alluded to, there's so many different events, there's so many different performers, there's so much planning going into this weekend. I know I talked about how every day I receive a new press release from your committee, which I appreciate, about something new going on. But, can you talk a little bit about, the planning for this whole homecoming weekend, specifically the work of the different committees and maybe even the different floats in the parade itself as well?
Okay, so again, this is a regional parade. Holyoke does not have a parade without our regional committees, and the regional committees cannot have a parade without Holyoke. So it's a very well bonded mesh that we do. Some of the communities, there's Agawam, there's Chicopee, there's Springfield, there's East Hampton, there's Northampton, South Hadley, Springfield, Westfield. So they all get together. They have a regional committee. They all have a seat at the table in Holyoke on Sunday mornings. So from January to parade day, we meet every Sunday from 12 o'clock to whatever it takes to get business conducted. Then we will also meet once a month in the off season. A new president is elected. they will pick their committee chairs, and those committee chairs are already they're working. Some people's events are over; they're already working on them for next year. Okay, and again, it's a lot of committee people that we have that are willing to give of their time and effort and their talent, and we allow them to move forward within the guidelines that we set, which are our bylaws, and they work their butts off tirelessly. They are proud of what they do, and they want to continue. This year, I'm happy to say, and I'm proud to say, that we have 23 new members that joined the Holyoke St. Patrick's Parade Committee this year, which is a big number. And we have a wide range. We have some young folks, some mid folks, and some older folks. And that's what it takes. That's what it takes. But I'm going to tell you, this younger generation that we have, okay, they are phenomenal. These young ladies that are picking up and running the ball, and a lot of them, their grandparents were on the committee, their parents, so it's a trickle-down effect. And we're waiting to get some of their kids come in. Hopefully I'm going to be around long enough to see that. So when I say it's a family affair, it's a family affair for membership, a family affair for you to come and partake in all the events. But the people that are dedicated to their committees, and there's probably 32 little subcommittees of what these folks do. When they put their heart and soul to it, we put a committee chair, they get their folks to work with them, and they hit the ground running. And it's like a bunch of ants moving a watermelon.
Yeah.
You know, they just move it from one to the other, and it gets done. And they, for the most part, everybody works together, and they work well. And, you know, and we're loving to see the youth come in, okay, and the elders look to the youth like, okay, we've got, and they listen to the elders, but the elders understand, too, that now there's a computer. We don't, as you see me writing things,
Yeah.
you guys got laptops, so
Yeah.
I'm still an elder, a dinosaur, but they take that and they can take their thoughts, give it to them. They see it there all over the place. This podcast, they listen and say, "What is it? We've never heard this," you know.
Yeah.
But they're willing. The elders are willing to watch this move forward because they know it's their dream, and their dream will continue.
Cool.
Now, you've mentioned this is one of the biggest parades of its type in the country. And you've mentioned how many road racers you're expecting, but how many people on average would you say the parade draws?
For that weekend in the city of Holyoke, you're going to have probably, I want to say, 350,000 people.
Wow.
Not all at once, but Road Race Day will have probably a couple 100,000, if not more.
Yeah.
And in the parade, through a 2.6-mile stretch, you'll probably have another couple 100,000 watching, depending on weather. If it's a day like today and there's no wind and it's sun, that place is going to be packed. And we're a week later this year, so the weather should cooperate. Daylight savings time's kicking in, so it'll stay lighter later, so hopefully it works to our advantage.
Well, and I can say that there's a hearty bunch that goes to that parade. I've seen it in snow, in rain, in wind, and the streets are still lined regardless of the elements.
And last year we had all of those elements.
Right.
We started with sun, we got some rain, the snow came, and then we had the sleet. So last year we had a little bit of all elements, and we had a good crowd out there.
Yep.
We had a good crowd.
I'm sure, and like we mentioned too, I mean, I'm 50% Irish, but I know the saying mostly is, everyone's 100% Irish on St. Patrick's Day weekend because everyone goes out to celebrate for sure.
Yeah.
And it shows because, seeing 350,000 that weekend, that's incredible.
Yeah, and it could be more than that.
Yeah.
But all we're going to, like I say, I'm a French kid from Chicopee running an Irish parade in Holyoke. So my membership has put a ton of faith in me, and I'm glad they did that. And I am glad that I haven't disappointed yet. I don't think I have. But again, that weekend we want you to come out, enjoy the city of Holyoke, enjoy our festivities, enjoy each other's company. And just remember, be safe, be respectful, and there'll be no issues, and everybody goes home safe.
All right. Well, we'll have a few more questions for John after this quick break.
It's the Big Broadcast, a recreation of a 1940s radio show, celebrating its 20th year. Relive the era of swing with the Mount Holyoke Jazz Ensemble. Don't miss Brian Lapis as Fred Kelly and creator Mark Gianfrido as bandleader Matt Morgan. March 8th at Mount Holyoke College's Chapin Auditorium with 2 shows, one at 2 p.m. and again at 7:30 p.m. Get tickets online at mhc.ludus.com or at the Odyssey Bookshop in South Hadley. We'll see you there.
Prime, your guide to your best life after age 50, is changing for 2025. All the news and information you've come to rely on and more will now be coming to you in a bigger, better edition of Prime every quarter. Look for the first new Prime of 2025, our Wellness Edition, at your favorite pickup location in January. And if the Prime audience is the target market for your goods and services, reach out to Sales Manager Scott Green at 525-6695 to grow with us.
And we're back. We are discussing the Holyoke St. Patrick's Parade weekend and really a lot of festivities that go on in advance of that. And we have a few more questions for John Beaulieu, who is our guest today. And again, thanks for joining us, John.
Well, again, thank you for having me. This is a first, and hopefully it's one of many to come.
Yeah, of course. And, we've talked a lot about the events leading up to the parade and the parade weekend itself. But, this year is the 48th annual St. Patrick's Day 10K road race that we've talked about a little bit in passing. But I was wondering if you could kind of tell the listeners a little bit more about the road race itself and, what that day kind of entails.
Okay, so the road race starts at 1 o'clock. Downtown opens up. We start closing streets. We get everybody safe. We have our food at the finish line. Our chutes are set up. We have our barricades set up. Then all of our sponsor banners go up on the barricades. The runners can park at Holyoke Community College, and we have a shuttle bus that brings them right to the start of the race. The buses run throughout the course of the day. I think the last one is done downtown probably 5:30 to bring them back to their car. Mato Del Rosa School opens up their gymnasium and cafeteria for us as a bag drop, so the runners, if they have keys or their wallet or their phone that they don't want to run with, there is a bag drop there. It is secure. It is safe. And then they get a number. They pick it up at the end of the race. Things are good. And it's a 10K. 2.6. No, 2.6.
6.2.
Yeah,
Yes.
Dyslexia. 6.2.
I was hoping someone else had it. I did not have that.
Yeah, no, it's
quick.
a 6.2. It's not an easy race. It's a challenging race. Holyoke people look at Holyoke and say, that's a flat area. Well, you start off on Maple Street and it's all an incline.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's another incline. Then it's another incline. You get to Homestead, it's an incline.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get to Cherry and you're going like a roller coaster,
Straight
straight down.
Yep.
And then you get on beach for a little flat, and then you're on beach again, so hilly. So it is not an easy course by no means. That's why I think a lot of people like to come out for that challenge and run it.
Mm-hmm.
We get people from all over, Kenya and everywhere. They come from everywhere to run this race.
Wow.
And again, it's we have a little parade. We have the kids' fun run that steps off before that. So they run from down at the end of the finish line where you make you're coming up Dwight Street, and they finish under the finish line.
Nice.
They'll get a T-shirt, a medal, and then there's some cookies and water for them. And then we have a band that performs for our JFK Award recipient,
Mm-hmm.
which is on Maple Street. And then we call all runners to the starting line, where we try to herd them like cats with the different colors they have. So your bibs are orange and green, then you have red, black, and blue.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have runners, so we've got everybody in a corral,
Mm-hmm.
and then the roads are shut off. So if they're on this side, they try to get over to right to left, left to right. So you got to figure that out. But 5 minutes before game time, no, we're not going to break the barriers.
Yeah.
Get there early and get in your spot early is something I could say which would help the start of the race go a little bit smoother for runners and all the volunteers that are over there.
Yeah, as someone who has run this race most years, probably for the past decade or so, it is certainly a challenge. I joke, even the finish line is a little bit of an uphill. It's a little bit of an incline, and I'm just like, who created a course that you start uphill and you finish uphill? What kind of sorcery is that? But it's also I love the atmosphere down there. It's really a party atmosphere. It's a lot of fun. Almost makes you forget that you are about to or you have run 6 miles, mostly uphill. And all along that course, it's honestly amazing how many people come out for that race. There's rarely a spot on the course where there aren't people cheering you on. So it's just another one of those really cool community-focused events that helps make this whole weekend.
It is, because on that route, people know they cannot leave their homes. So we have people.
It's a captive audience.
Pay me now or pay me later, right? So they will put a water spot in front of their home just to help the runners. They'll cheer you on, hand you beers.
Nice.
It's crazy. I've run that race for years, and it is crazy, but it's a good crazy, and it's a great time for the community involvement to support. On that day you're running, you're an athlete, and they're supporting you. They all love to see somebody doing something that they maybe did or cannot do any longer, and they support it. To the point of uphill, you get to Griffin's and you think you're done. From Griffin's to the church, it's this. Yep. So you figure you get your kick in, and I'm almost there. Well, your kick is done, and you better get a third and fourth kick. Yeah, so it is torturous. We don't, that doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger, right?
Yeah, no kidding. Definitely. And hopefully there's a nice reward at the end that they're all striving for.
Because like you say, you've got the community cheering you, you've got other runners cheering you, and then you turn the corner, and it's party central, and you just ran 6.2 miles and you're eating a greasy burger and downing beer. Pasta and wine, I guess, but beers and burgers are all good. Yeah. It's all good.
Yeah. Sounds great.
Now, we did talk a little bit, you did mention Bridget Moynihan as the JFK Award winner this year, and how excited you are to have her and how excited she is to be coming back to the area. What goes into selecting that award winner?
So as the president, I get to form a committee of members to pick a JFK Award recipient. And those folks get together. They've got lists that they may have asked years in the past, and maybe the person they wanted was not available. They didn't get to the right person to get them. So they keep a book. They keep a list going. And this year, this was good. Her folks got back to our folks, and being from Long Meadow, she's in California now, but she'll be here, and it's going to be a little homecoming for her to see some folks. So I don't know who's more thrilled, because I'm a big Blue Bloods fan, and nice. Friday night, I don't care where I was, I'm going home or I'm stopping, and I got to watch Blue Bloods. Mm-hmm. So they didn't tell me till it was announced Sunday morning, and I had a few tears in my eyes, probably, because I never thought I'd get somebody that caliber, and somebody that they said, well, what would you like? I said, I love Blue Bloods. So somebody, if you're looking, maybe, Bridget, Donnie, somebody to that nature, and you never know. Wahlberg is from Boston, but you never know.
Yeah.
Will he make an appearance Sunday for the parade? If he's around for Bridget, nobody knows. Mm-hmm. It's nothing that we know. But the committee that was formed, they work at this. Again, they're starting now for next year to get somebody to try to see how we get to that person or that person's agent or their handlers or whatever, so we can do an easy transition.
Yeah, I know. I had
years past, we've had Tommy Jagodowski, who was a Holyoke boy. that did the Sonics commercials and different things. So he was a little easier because his mom and dad, I know his mom and dad. A lot of people knew his mom and dad. You had Lenny Jacobson. So when they're closer to home and they have some roots here, it's a little bit easier.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Bridget was a challenge for the folks, but they met the challenge and they did a great job. And we've got a super JFK Award recipient.
Yeah, I know I've had the opportunity. I reached out to her after she was chosen as the recipient, and like you said she could not be happier to return home. You kept mentioning it's homecoming weekend, and for her it will be homecoming weekends.
Yes.
So she's definitely looking forward to that, like she said.
So the only thing I'll say is, please, we still have some tickets available for that evening. So, go to the Holyoke St. Patrick's Parade.com. You can go to the events and sign up and get your tickets. It'll probably be a one-in-a-lifetime shot to see her.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm not going to be selfish and want to keep her all to myself. But we can share.
Of course. And, throughout the podcast, we've talked about the cultural impacts, the attendance of the different events and the parade weekend. And I know you alluded to a study from a few years ago. But can you talk a little bit more about the economic impact of the entire weekend between the hotels getting booked, the bars getting visitors, restaurants throughout the city, things like that?
Yeah, so all the hotels are probably going to are booked from spring. We have people coming from into Springfield.
Mm-hmm.
The couple hotels in Holyoke are full. Everybody just fills up for the hotels. Then you get them here. They want a good restaurant. They want food, so they're going to get that.
Mm-hmm.
If they need a rental car. And again, it doesn't just stay in Holyoke. It's all the regional committees that do get impacted because, it's going to move out because not everything can be in the one hub, so it spreads out. And, so we share the wealth, and a lot of the regional committees do benefit from this whole weekend. The restaurants love to see parade weekend come,
Yeah.
They try to do little things to build camaraderie, and like the Battle of the Bars, you get 6 bars that are battling for the last couple of weeks before this happens, and then that one night they get an hour to pit themselves against each other, so they engage in it also.
Mm-hmm.
And after that you get a few spin-offs possibly that still will roll up until the parade.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we covered quite a few topics in this half an hour or so. But is there anything we didn't touch on, or anything that you would like to add about this year's parade specifically that maybe people should be excited about?
We've got the Clydesdales coming, so we'll have a Clydesdale team that's in the parade. The only thing I would like to say is I was honored to be elected the president of the Holyoke Committee. I am very proud of my parade committee family, and I'm excited for all the hard work they put in, and I just can't wait for them to see the fruits of their labor going down the road. And the parade will be put together next Tuesday. We're going to put the parade together, so we know where a band goes, where a marching unit goes, and it gives us some time to tweak and see if we can add to or delete from. So right now, I cannot be any more proud of the folks that I call my brothers and sisters on the parade committee, which is my family, my own personal family. I just want to thank them for the time away for these last several years. And it's not easy for them, but they get it.
Yeah.
And I have their support. So I just thank everyone who's going to make a commitment to this parade. And please, if you're listening out there, go to that website, help us out. Look for an event that you might want to attend, and please help come down and support us, and meet us, talk to us, and maybe a potential for a new member. And to the 23 new members I have, thank you for taking the time to join the family.
Awesome, thank you, and we thank you for your time today and everything that went into the planning for this year's parade weekend as well. Thank you again.
No, and again, thank you, gentlemen, and hopefully this can continue, and hopefully I didn't disappoint.
No, well, and for everybody listening, I hope you go out and attend one or all of the events taking place that will culminate in that weekend, the March 22nd and 23rd, with the road race and the parade.
And that will conclude this episode of So That Reminds Me.
Thank you to all our listeners, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks.
Thanks for listening to So That Reminds Me, produced by Western Massachusetts news source Reminder Publishing. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, find the latest news at thereminder.com, and follow Reminder Publishing on Instagram at Reminder Publishing, on X at The Reminder MA, and on Facebook. Reminder Publishing, we are hometown news.